The American Society for Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery, which is the largest national society for this specialty, says its most recent data shows surgeons perform nearly 300,000 metabolic and bariatric procedures in the United States.
That number, though, has dropped since the introduction of popular prescriptions of diabetes and weight loss medications like Ozempic and Wegovy. Studies show both are effective ways for patients who are considered obese to lose weight. Over the next 4 nights, we'll take a closer look at the options available to patients by talking to surgeons, nurses, and the patients themselves. Tonight, we focus on the decision facing those patients, the surgery or the shot.
I didn't go to the grocery store because it was painful.
For 15 years, Jennifer Anderson thought about weight loss surgery.
It hurt if I had to stand in line, I got very crabby.
Before she decided to trust CNOS to do her gastric sleeve procedure, Jennifer's husband, Travis,
back hurt, feet hurt, things were difficult, work was difficult.
Was dealing with the same weight-related aches and pains.
Getting on and off a forklift, getting in and out of vehicles, going fishing, anything that was difficult because the weight.
So together, the Andersons made the decision to both undergo gastric sleeve weight loss surgery on the same day.
She came for an appointment, and then I decided that day that, yes, I'm going to do it also.
But for many, it's a decision that may be months or even years in the making.
The main thing I like to do is find out from them, what's your goal?
Kathy Hart is a bariatric nurse at CNOS.
And I remind them, you know, sometimes it's a wish. I wish I could have something. And I tell them, you know, when you put a plan with a wish, then you've got a goal.
That starts with the initial consultation with bariatric surgeon Dr. Jim Hegvik.
We do it as a group. We come into this room and we sit down and I go through the risk and benefits and kind of the discussion about which operation that we offer.
Jennifer and Travis Anderson both had the gastric sleeve procedure, but CNOS also offers another surgical option, gastric bypass.
One of them we reroute some of the small intestine in the gastric bypass, and in the sleeve we don't have to do that. We just divide the stomach and take out about 80%. In the gastric bypass, nothing removes or is taken out of the body. We just reroute it to a smaller stomach.
Physician assistant Brenda Van Skoik works with Dr. Hegvik during those procedures, and she doesn't mince words when it comes to the investment patients make when they choose weight loss surgery.
A lot of people will think bariatric surgery is the easy way out, and it's really not. There's a lot of physical, mental, and emotional change that they go through.
But once that decision is made, the work really begins for the patients.
We want to make sure that a patient is not only physically healthy and ready to go through the surgery, but that they're also mentally ready for the changes and the stressors that can come.
Insurance does cover weight loss surgery in some cases, but that depends on your insurance plan. Some providers might require several months worth of education with a dietitian. Your body mass index, or BMI, also matters, and there are other conditions called comorbidities to consider. That can include diabetes and cardiac problems, but CNOS insurance specialists can help you navigate the process.
We want to make that process as easy as possible. I don't want the patients to have to deal with those insurance companies, so we do all that for them.
And for patients that qualify for surgery, the decision is just the first step on a long road. Tomorrow night on News 4 at 6, we'll walk you through the educational program for patients to prepare them for this major change, from behavioral and body image changes to eating triggers and ways to cope with them.
And make sure to tune in to our half-hour live special, Shifting the Scale. It airs this Thursday night at 6:30 on KTIV. We'll have CNOS doctors and nurses in our studio to answer your questions about weight loss surgery and medical weight loss options. You can email your question to connect@ktiv.com, and it might be answered live during the special. That's again Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. right here on KTIV, Siouxland's news source.